Good morning, trade pros. Welcome to morning market update for this beautiful Monday, October 21st. Right, Vicky? Yeah, it's October 21st. It is. Are you going to vote? Oh, there you go. All right. Good morning. Let's talk about the first thing on the agenda. Vicky just brought it up. Today is voting day in Canada. It's the polls for the federal election to appoint the members of the House of Commons of the 43rd Canadian Parliament. All right. Justin Trudeau and Andrew Scheer, the two main guys that are heading up the parties. And I think today Justin Trudeau gets reelected, but with a minority government. All right. So I think he loses majority, which is actually good for the stock market and policy and the housing market and everything in Canada. That's in bubble-like territory right now, especially the housing market. I'll tell you this. Canada's in the housing market bubble. We just don't know it yet, but we are. So it's gonna be a good thing for overall the market. So an interesting election. Canadians hit the polls today. It's your right as a citizen to go out there and vote. I encourage you all to vote. I'll be going to vote. I'm actually cut a little bit early today to go vote. Victoria, just so you know. A man's got to vote. It's messing with Vicky. All right, other news. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, abbreviated to Bojo, is set to take his Brexit deal back to Parliament. Over the weekend, a few set of odd circumstances developed where Boris Johnson, or Bojo, had to write the European Union to request an extension of the Brexit deadline, but he did not sign the letter. And then at the same time, send a second letter that he did sign saying, I don't actually want you to grant this extension, European Union. Said pretty much, European Union, my parliament wants me to write you to ask for an extension. Here it is. I'm not signing this letter. Now, the second letter said, European Union, this is Boris Johnson, and I don't think you should extend it. Please don't. We're going to get a deal. And so this week, there's a little bit of excitement early on pertaining to the UK, as there's another vote potentially set to take place today. And the House of Commons is working to rally some support from people who traditionally didn't support him, but he's confident he can get through the New Deal approved through Parliament and then executed through the European Union. So for now, all hopes are that this Brexit process is complete and enacted as of October 31st, which is the deadline, which also happens to be Halloween. Pretty spooky. And almost 3 years after the referendum vote. So it did take some time. Took two prime ministers, a lot of back and forth, but there's hype and excitement for this New Deal passing. All right. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think as we get closer to next Thursday, we're going to see more and more volatility if there's no progress. All right. In other news, driving some optimism in the stock markets, China committed to resolving the trade war with the U.S., said Vice Premier Liu He. He said this publicly, which is rare for a public senior member of government to make those kind of comments. He said that China will work with the U.S. to resolve the core issues of the trade deal and also to stop, adding that stopping it would benefit the entire world and a deal could limit the damage to global growth. So it's a conciliatory tone from China. For those of you that don't know, last week it was announced Donald Trump and China, the United States and China essentially came to an agreement where China will buy 50 to 60 billion dollars of egg products from the United States. And this weekend we discovered that was conditional on tariffs being removed. So it's not as clear of a picture, yet there's still optimism that both sides are optimistic about reaching a deal. It's sort of like calling your friend and saying, you want to go out? And he says, maybe, kind of, sort of. I do. I agree with you. We should do something. And I don't know. Why don't you lift tariffs first? And you get excited and start getting ready on that. It's not really a firm commitment, but there is talk. All right. That's China and U.S. There's a bit of bullish tone there. Canadian elections and the UK Brexit. Other than that, there's absolutely nothing on today's economic calendar. I expect to see a little bit of sideways movement, consolidation. We could get volatility to one direction, but I'm seeing the consolidation as probably the next best play, given that there's no news today. All right, in Asia, Japan's up 0.25%. Hong Kong's flat. China's flat. India is closed. In Europe at midday, London's up 0.2%. Paris is flat. Frankfurt up 0.5%. So we got some strong gains here in the European markets. And in the U.S., Dow's up 0.08% rather. S&P's up 0.2%. NASDAQ up 0.23%. We have some big earnings kicking off in the United States starting this week, including eBay, Amazon, Visa. Who else is going? There's other ones I'm forgetting. There's a ton of them, all right? We read out the whole earnings calendar last night in Market Analysis Live to our subscribers, but that's just a little bit of just a review for you. All right, crude oil today is down about 1 percentage point. and now trading through to and through the overnight lows of 53.19 after this open of the 41. So we're seeing some downside pressure. 52.70 looks like some good support on some order flow down there, and 53 even is, first of all, a nice round number. Second of all, it's a 5-day point of control. Gold price is flat for the day. Currently sitting, actually, they got a little bit of a bid here off the open. They're up slightly. 1498.30 is the opening range high at the moment. All right. And Bitcoin up 3.2% to 8,200. So still hanging around the low 8,000s. All right. And today's economic calendar, like I said, nothing except Fed's Bowman speaking at 11:40. And who cares what he says, because I believe he's a non-voter. Now let's turn around, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a look at today's or this week's economic calendar, because we had a really quick morning market update. So let's have a look at the calendar together. So on Tuesday, hang on one moment. I'm going to bring up another calendar source. This one's great for intraday, but it's really busy for a week. I just want the major events. All right, so let me just go here again. And I'm going to open up my other calendar source. And I'll read. Sorry, you're looking at the back of my head, YouTube, but even the back of my head looks nice. All right. Tuesday, we get some data out of Canada. Bank Canada's business outlook and retail sales. Wednesday, we get crude oil inventories. Thursday is all about Europe. We have French flash services, manufacturing out of Germany, and then the European Union's monetary policy by Mario Draghi, their rate decision, and they're going to host a press conference all before market open. That's going to cause some volatility. And then the single and only major economic event for the week for the United States is core durable goods orders. Let's look at some inflationary pressure, and that's it. The week's done. So light economic data, and I think the movement this week's going to be tape bombs, sudden announcements of news bursts and volatility pertaining to Brexit and this trade negotiation or this trade development from China and U.S. I also read an article from Vanity Fair. Did you read it, Vicky? Somebody posted it in our Discord chat room saying that at the closing bell, there's 400,000 contracts of S&Ps or whatever that go through. And they're saying that Donald Trump is telling a certain group of traders his tweets before they're making money. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I don't take a strong tone on stuff like this, but first of all, that's horse shit. I apologize for using a strong term. I'll tell you this. I have a hard time getting 10 contracts off on the SPOOs, let off 400,000. All right. If you look at the volume and you're educated as a trader, you can call bluff on this article right away. I don't know who wrote this piece, but they need to consult some traders before putting stuff out like that. There isn't that much volume, even the closing bell. First of all, naturally, volume elevates towards the close. Second of all, they ain't 420,000 contracts. All right. Today's volume at the moment is, let me tell you what it is. All right. Today's volume is 157,000 contracts. So if you were to put 400,000 contracts on right now, you're going to represent 250% of the entire market traded overnight. I know it's Sunday, but even any other day on the close, we usually get to about 1 million contracts. You're putting 40% of the total day volume on the ladder towards the close. It was the allegation. It's hard, all right? It's not impossible, but it's hard, and it doesn't happen often. And I'll tell you this, one of the benefits of what we trade in futures is as a regulated marketplace. In Forex, manipulation happens very easily because they're not accountable to anyone, which is currency trading, all right? In the stock market and other instruments that are traded on a public exchange that's centralized, that can't happen, all right? The CME would be all over this like white on rice if it came out, all right? Especially their compliance pros. I'm going to tell you this. I don't think that actually happens. I know that we're all skeptical and scared. We think that, hey, somebody out there is making money. They must know something we don't. The truth is, in today's market, everyone's having a hard time. You go to any institutional desk and you ask them, is it easier this year than it was 4 years ago to trade? And nobody in their right mind would say yes, other than people who just started trading. All right. So I got to tell you this little rant because I feel passionate about it. I looked at the article and I just laughed. I said, hey, it is possible. It is a deep market, the S&P 500. There's a lot of hidden liquidity, but you can't be throwing on that much volume on the inner circle of Donald Trump traders. I'm debunking that myth. And if I'm proven wrong, then I'll be shocked. That's all I got for today. Let's turn around and do some trading. I'm going to send it over to our oil desk in Atlanta. By the way, I visited Atlanta last week. It was a phenomenal trip. I want to thank Boxy for hosting us, or me, us, the whole company comes with me when I go. And it was great. It was awesome. We ironed out some great details for something awesome coming up in March. Very excited to share that with you. That's all I got. I'm going to turn around. Ooh, you see a light flicker? As soon as the heat came on. Love you guys. Have a great day. Manage your risk, trade at TRADEPRO. Take it easy today. Follow the 3 rules. Trade less size, trade less capital, get paid quicker, and you'll do fine. If volatility comes in, it's always easier to shift gears up than trying to downshift as traffic is stopping. All right. Send you guys love, joy, and happiness. See you tomorrow. Goodbye and take care. Over and out. All right, Boxy. Ready to rock for this beautiful morning. We would love to hear about oil from you. Set up some trades. Make some moolah. Yes, sir. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to get over here and throw you on panelist mode. And to YouTube, I bid you farewell, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.